Thanks for checking out the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to see me play your deck, hang out with me in the amazing BoshNRoll community in Discord, access to my lists and sideboard guides before tournaments, book an individual coaching session, or just generally want to support what's going on here, check out the Patreon and YouTube membership options. For the finest Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, use code BoshNRoll for 10% off your order at coalesceapparel.shop. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. If you want to play what I'm playing, use my affiliate link to support the channel while you shop for cards at tcgplayer.com and play any deck anytime on Magic Online with a cardhoarder.com loan account. Thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back once again to the BoshNRoll channel. First things first, I am fighting off a cold here. If my voice sounds a little weak or cracky, that's why. I haven't missed a release in 2 years, and I'm going to try to power through this one though. That said, today I'm playing, at the request of Patreon subscriber Joyami, Stasis, with a focus on Quirion Ranger. Stasis is, of course, players skip their untap steps, and you have to pay a blue every turn to keep it around. Quirion Ranger, return a forest you control to its owner's hand, untap target creature. Activate only once each turn. And thanks to Time Spiral, we get 8 of this effect. Scrib Ranger, same thing, but 1/1 flying protection from blue. Also a powerhouse against Delver, feeling good about that one. If you bounce a tropical island every turn to untap a noble hierarch, that gives you 2 stasis payments, and you could slowly pull ahead on mana over your opponent. And the deck is full of other ways to break the parity on stasis. Exploration can pull you ahead on lands and let you redeploy your lands you bounce with your rangers. Derevi, Imperial Tactician, EDH All-Star. When it enters the battlefield or when a creature you control deals damage to a player, tap or untap target permanent. If you get some creatures poking in, you can really break the parity of stasis with this. Barry, who slows the sunset, untaps lands and creatures. And, of course, the elephant in the room. There is a new card that was printed that also untaps one of your creatures every turn, and it's White Plume Adventurer. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, untap a creature you control. If you've completed a dungeon, untap all creatures instead. While the game is locked down with stasis and you work your way through the dungeon, you are not only dealing damage and adding to your board with the rooms in the dungeon, but you are untapping your creatures to pay for stasis. This was not my intention when I built the deck. I didn't go in trying to shove initiative into literally everything, but this card makes sense on every possible axis. We have a hard time beating the initiative. We have a hard time taking the initiative if we lose it. And this card just wins the game on multiple axes under stasis. It's perfect for the deck. If it didn't have the untap clause, I wouldn't just shove it in, but it does, so here we are. And the rest of the deck is just rounded out with blue cantrips and some counterspells to make it all happen. Sideboard is all just hateful stuff you'd expect. Graveyard hate, spell hate, artifact hate, and creature removal if we find ourselves in a matchup where we got to go a little slower and answer their board before we jump stasis. And that's the deck. I am excited about this one, even though I can't really show it with my voice. I only have one volume right now, one tone, or else it starts to freak out. But let's go do this thing. Joyami, this is your Quirion Ranger Stasis brew. I'm on the play in round 1 with a tough beat here. There's one Forsaken City in the deck, and I can't keep a hand with that as my only land. This one, much more interesting, needs some help, but I'm in for it. It actually just needs a ranger. I'm definitely in. This build of Stasis doesn't run any root maze effects, so that means opponents will be able to make their land drops and try to dig out. There is no hard lock in this build. It's just accumulating value over time and hoping you're better than them under stasis. Unfortunately, the ranger plan doesn't really work with root maze. Opponents said they're a fan of the channel and learned legacy from me. I hope I can give them a treat with this deck. A Savannah, is it the mirror match? Okay, I got more of those. Don't worry about it. Bummer. I can protect this one with Spell Pierce and try to get into the initiative. This is actually a lock with stasis if we can do this. White Plume untapping Hierarch every turn. I'm going to let Ponder resolve, save Spell Pierce for removal. He did not shuffle. I'm not going to fetch. I would actually love to draw land and protect White Plume with Spell Pierce here. Okay, I'm jamming. are on the stack. And we're in there. We get a basic forest. There are a bunch in the deck. And send it, and I get to untap Noble Hierarch and represent Spell Pierce on their turn. It's pretty insane. I'm gonna let Ponder resolve. I think I'm gonna go into the Lost Well and Scry 2 rather than into Forge. I am playing for a slightly longer game if I can get Stasis to resolve here. Or, you know, draw a second Stasis. Stasis on the stack, let's go. And I get to attack for 4 here. I think I do want to Ponder. Teferi's really good. Dryad Arbor's good. That's another creature that can untap when I finish my dungeon. If they Ice Fang Coatl and steal the initiative, that would be kind of a bummer. I don't think this is a Coatl deck. Ends up Brainstorm. Are we setting up Terminus? Gonna untap Hierarch, of course. That's what this deck is all about. It is a Terminus. Let's hope they can't back it up with Force of Will. Lord, forgive me for what I've done here. My God. It looks like we're playing against Hot Bant, which there's not really any sideboard for. I don't have more counter spells. I could bring in Surgical to acknowledge Endurance. They have their own endurances. That's how they can take the initiative from me. They'll probably have Dress Down in their deck. Yeah, I think I'm just rocking the same deck here. In we go. Built perfectly to beat Hot Bant in the main. The BoshNRoll brand. Yeah, I got Island Ponder. And I have Scrib Ranger, which can set up the Stasis. I'm in. A bit of Flowers, bummer. I really wanted to cast this Ponder. This is a strong card against Stasis. Gotta do what I gotta do here. Okay, now we're cooking. Brainstorm off of Carpet. Misty Rainforest. Life from the Loam, picking up Misty. Okay. I'm gonna Ponder and then play Quirion Ranger. Shuffle this. And I'm gonna get a Savannah. Once the Stasis is down, I can use my Rangers to pick up Tropical Island, and then Carpet doesn't work. It's a long-term line. You gotta think long-term for this matchup. There's an Uro. You got it. No Wasteland, that's good news. Ending, that's fine. 3 cards in their hand. They don't have Dress Down mana up. If they're gonna counter my White Plume Adventurer, they have to do it with Force going down to 1 card in hand. We're in there. We're on an adventure. They can Uro next turn. I have a protection from blue creature in my hand. They plowed. They have 3 cards in their hand now. Their draw step. That Uro. They exiled their Life from the Loam to make that happen. I like it. I get to go into Lost Well on my turn. See what we get here on the Scry 2. Force of Will is a great draw. Bottom Dryad Arbor, draw the Force of Will. And then you can play White Plume Adventurer and go into the stash. That gives me a treasure to cast Scrib Ranger. And Scrib Ranger can brick Uro. Almost there. I need a Noble Hierarch and we're free. Put Swords of Plowshares on top of their deck with Mystic Sanctuary, which means Uro gets to draw it. I'm going to let them attack and plow the Adventurer, and then I'll drop in the Pro Blue Ranger. If they don't plow, I'll just block. But they're going to want the initiative. Brackets, huh? There's that. And then Ranger. Flash, protection from blue. They have 1 card left in their hand. Block. I get a Catacomb. Trigger, get a 4/1 skeleton. Spooky skeleton on the board. And here's the game plan now. I cast Stasis. And attack for 1. Oh, they could Endurance. I'm not going to attack. Take it back. No attack. I'm going to bounce my Tropical Island. And then I can fetch to pay for this one. Pay the other one. They do have Endurance. But I don't care because they have a 4/1 that can block it. Resolves. Okay, they're all in now. Glad I didn't attack. Carpet doesn't get any mana here. And I get to go into the Throne of the Dead 3 and try to pull way ahead here. Still got the Force of Will back up. No attack, hell yeah. In the end step, I'm going to fetch for a Trop. And if this Throne of the Dead 3 gives me a Noble Hierarch, I win. Let's go into the Throne first. Plume Adventurer, okay. This untaps all my creatures every turn now. And I get to search for my last basic. I'll pay for Stasis. Play the other Tropical Island and attack for 4 Menace. And I'll bounce my Trop so they don't get 2 mana. I guess I have to force this. Yeah, force pitching the other Stasis I think is better here. Because I don't have enough blue to replace Stasis and then also pay for it. Okay. Now we're doing stuff. If they find Wasteland, they get to break Stasis. That's kind of annoying. Ponder. Ponder did not shuffle. Uh-oh. They found another Pyroblast. Must be. Oh, EI, sure. That's good too. That finds Wasteland. That breaks Stasis. And then they just got to beat this initiative game. But I'm now pretty far ahead on. Down Plow. Yeah, taking out Ranger is pretty good. Oh, okay. Going after the Skeleton. Did they not realize that Ranger is what's keeping Stasis in play? Or are they worried they're going to die to the Skeleton before that happens? Okay, I am gonna go into the Lost Well again. I just really need a Noble Hierarch. Force of Will, no, bottom. Can't cast that Ponder. White Plume untaps, so I get to bash for 6. I actually can cast Ponder because I go into this stash next turn. I'm not going to do that though. I'll use that as Wasteland protection. And continue just locking down the carpet as much as I can. They just had no plays and passed the turn. I am going to go into the stash. Goading Endurance is funny, but I don't think it's right. Certainly is not necessary. Forsaken City, what's up? Now we get to party. Play Forsaken City and cast the Ponder. Come on, Noble Hierarch. Oh, Teferi. Cast that. Do I actually want these? I mean, Teferi's nutso. If I pay for City, that pays for Stasis. And then 1, 2, 3. Or I can go all in on Teferi. Sounds pretty good, actually. And attack for 6. Keep it going. And I get a Spooky Skeleton next turn. Might as well bounce my island as well. It's not doing anything. Play. And that leaves them with no mana at all. They found a land. Flooded Strand doesn't fetch Taiga. So if this is my list, then they can't get red off of their Flooded Strand to clear the Stasis. Gotta make sure I stack this right. Stasis on the bottom. Forsaken City above it. And the initiative above that. I get a Spooky Skeleton. Exile a card to untap City. And they scooped it up. They don't even need to see the big Teferi. Well, that was pretty resounding. What's up, Initiative Stasis? We're doing the thing. Let's go.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and every other format you'll see on this channel. They have multiple customizations so you can view your deck how you want. Text view, stacks, grid, custom grouping by type, subtype, color, light mode, dark mode. However you want to see your deck, they can provide it for you. My favorite feature is you can choose your set printing, make the deck look exactly how you want it to. The deck screen features expandable sections that show you what tokens your deck makes, your recent change history to the deck, stats about mana curve and opening hand distribution, mana cost distribution. You can deal out sample hands and even play test the deck. Island Ponder. You know I'm keeping this one. This site has everything. Follow me on Moxfield.com to keep up with decks I'm playing for the channel and what I'm up to in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the draw in round 2 with a super confused hand. Can't get anything going. This land doesn't cast Ponder. Bigger Ranger plus Tropical Island and Exploration is actually like a functional plan, but this is not a Tropical Island. And a mulligan. I like this one much better. Bottom Savannah. Let's go. Uh-oh, it's the mirror match. It totally is. It might not be the actual mirror match, but there are a number of initiative True Name Nemesis decks out there. We're not quite that. but a lot of similar cards. Okay, good. It's just Infect. Force of Will is nice. Ponder. Derevi. None of these cards really help me yet. Yeah, I'm going to shuffle this. This is nothing my hand doesn't already do. There we go. I'm going to brainstorm. White Plume is good. Put this forest back, and I don't need another Noble Hierarch. Cool. All right. I have Spell Pierce or Force, but not both. Ponder's cool. I'm not going to Spell Pierce Ponder against the deck with Invigorate and Berserk in it. See how hard they want to push here. Did not shuffle the Ponder. Just 2 poison. That's a deal all day. Second elf, that's fine. I do actually lose the initiative pretty hard. Oh, I forgot to fetch. I was so busy worried about losing the initiative that I forgot to shuffle my deck. Just playing well here. You can just bash back and forth, exchanging the initiative. Deploy my adventurer. Force of Will, pitching Blighted Agent. Could Spell Pierce this, then I'm in trouble to whatever poison stuff happens, but still in. Let's go. I'm not really winning a game where this doesn't happen. I can eat one of the Glistener Elves, then clap back and take the initiative. Alright, I get to untap Noble Hierarch too. Shit. Now I do have 2 blockers. Cool. Forgot about that. You know, just the interaction I built my deck around. Forgot about it. Good stuff. No attack at all. Wow, didn't even try. It's distressingly honest of them. And I'm going into the Lost Well. Trying to get my hooks in, not trying to push damage. Another adventurer. I kind of do want that on top of the deck. No, I'm actually going to bottom that and take the Brainstorm. Noble Hierarch, number 2. I get to attack with my adventurer. It's a 5/5, and it'll untap on their turn. And I have Bant Ranger that can pop in and mess with combat if necessary. I'm not going to Brainstorm. I like having Force Blue card here. I'm really glad they pitched this Blighted Agent to Force all those turns ago. It's a card I'd be pretty worried about. This is the type of matchup we have Swords to Plowshares in the sideboard for. Got 4 of those chilling. Alright, we're getting attacks now. Bant Ranger, get after it. It's going to block both of these with my creatures that can kill them. A Berserk makes me lose the initiative. They do need to give trample. They can't just pump. Alright, they're just taking their trades. Fucking deal. Post-combat land drop and Phyrexian Crusader. This has protection from red and white. Protection from white, you say. Could Force of Will this, or I could ignore it. I can block with my green creatures. Their strike is kind of annoying though. Alright, I'm gonna let it resolve. I think Brainstorm can do better still. If Brainstorm were a worse blue card, I would have pitched it. Go into the stash. Yeah, there we go. That's exactly what I was looking for. So I'm gonna Stasis here with Force backup. Boy, chill. Untap Noble Hierarch. You untap nothing. If you attack with Phyrexian Crusader, I block and then it never attacks again. So yeah. I get a Spooky Skeleton. The hooks are in, team. A for Stasis with Noble Hierarch. Baby. How hard do I want to push this? I have Force Will backup. The answer is hard as fuck. I am going to use my treasure, not my Noble Hierarch, though, just to be careful. Gang's all here. Tap this creature and this land. I probably wanted to tap their Hierarch, actually. It's fine. It's all mostly the same. This game is pretty much over. Yeah, it would have been much better to target their Hierarch with the tap ability. I don't care about this. I can tap that with Teferi, and all my creatures are going to untap forevermore, thanks to White Plume Adventurer. Let's see what the Throne of the Dead 3 brings me. Bant Ranger. Yep, that sounds good. Okay, get a land drop here. And Teferi is going to tap Blighted Agent and untap my island. And then I'm going to attack with my Giant Menace creature. Now, I dare say, this deck fucking rules. It's so sick. See you later. Right, the Swords of Plowshares come in here, but is less good. Don't really like exploration. Revi is important to my blue count. I can shave a Caryatid, that's a little clunky. I do like that Quarian Ranger can block Glistener Elf. Opponent said in the chat, if only you were mono white. Yep, blue makes everything better. Phyrexian Crusader is pretty sick against white initiative though. Alright, I'm gonna shave one of my Quarian Rangers. I want to keep my blue count up. My ways to win the game up. So there it is. Swords of Plowshares in. I'm gonna keep this one. I don't love a one-lander, but Quarian Ranger makes a one-lander sing. There are no Tundras in the deck, so I have to get Tropical Island here and then hope that the cantrips get me where I want to go. Ink Moth, okay. Gotta fetch land. Brainstorm, bring it home. Okay. That is white, which is not really what I asked for. I'm going to put back White Plume Adventurer and Scrib Ranger. I'm going to bet on Noble Hierarch here. This puts the shields down if they goldfish me with Ink Moth, but it'll be much better if I can make this happen for next turn, if I have this land or this extra mana source in play. Just gotta hope to survive this turn. Making moves. Okay, I don't mind this guy. As we saw last game, whatever. I'm gonna deploy my Adventurer to search for a forest, which I can use Noble Hierarch to untap and cast Swords of Plowshares if I need to on the Ink Moth, or if I need to Spell Pierce. Oh right, it just untaps anyway. God, this deck. It's so good. Second Blink Moth or Ink Moth that are also Blink Moths. Both creatures attacking. Okay, here's the deal. I'm going to play Scrib Ranger, which can block the flyer. And then I'll Quarian Ranger block the non-flyer. I'm getting dazed. I'd rather pay for daze or cast Swords to Plowshares. So I'll pay for daze. I could actually do both because I'm dropping a second Ranger here. Storm in response, okay. Guess I should have floated blue, or at least let daze resolve before I chose a color. Go to blocks. Block. I lose my creatures here, but keep the initiative. Invigorating the Ink Moth. I'll let that resolve. Right, I was hoping they would push a little harder. I could Swords to Plowshares in the future and just not bounce my land now. Yeah, I think I'd rather do that. It doesn't have trample. And I'm going to go into the Lost Well, looking for stasis now. Those are not stasises. Bottom. Force of Will is a good one. Storm off the Hierarch. Another Ranger, another Adventurer, which can put me into stash right away. I like the Ranger. I don't like the Adventurer right now. I'm going to put Adventurer and Force blue card, Plow. Adventurer and Plow on top of the deck. Attacking is free. This thing can't block anyway. I win the game somehow. I can Brainstorm into Swords to Plowshares if I need to. Untap Hierarch. I'm going to throw Scrib Ranger in front of this thing. Gotta hold on to Hierarch. That's my win condition. Second one of these. I'm not doing great against the first one. I think I have to force it this time. I'll pitch Spell Pierce. I get to go into the stash. And there is a White Plume Adventurer on top of my deck right now. If I Brainstorm and then cast that, I go into the Catacombs and I have a black blocker. Ooh. Just a fairy. That's not really where I want to be right now, though. Fairy is Force blue card. I'm going to put back Force of Will into Fairy. Let Swords to Plowshares do the work, I suppose. Then White Plume Adventurer dumps me into the Catacomb. I have a blocker for the Crusader. And then I have 2 plows for 2 creatures. Tap Hierarch and everything. Brainstorm, okay. Hierarch plus Treasure, cast what I needed to here. At least I hope. As long as they don't like trample plus berserk me. Swords to Plowshares on this. Just gotta hope their hand isn't Vines of Basswood plus Daze. They could pump this just for the life gain. buy themselves another turn, but my Menace Skeleton is pretty messed up here. Cool, didn't need the second plow, and we're going into the Throne of the Dead 3, which means my Force and Teferi are going away. That's fine. I think plow is the better card anyway. Oh my god, I have Derevi. So dead. I'm gonna tap Moth Nexus. We got the GG. Oh my god. Undefeated. I think we broke Legacy. Let's fucking roll.
You come here to level up at Magic. To level up as a software engineer, check out the new YouTube series Dev Better, hosted by the founder of 7 Factor Software and Magic player, Jeremy Duvall. 7 Factor's small teams of high-performing engineers build custom mobile apps, APIs, and highly scalable systems for Fortune 500 companies and ambitious startups with great ideas. If you'd like to hire 7 Factor, or maybe join their team, contact them through their website at 7factor.io. And don't forget to subscribe to 7 Factor's YouTube for every episode of Dev Better.
I'm on the play in round 3 with a pretty sweet hand. I'm going to keep this all day. Not sure where this is going yet, but it's got potential. I just need a White Plume Adventurer and we're locked. Is it Lightning Bolt for me? Okay. How do you feel about Sylvan Caryatid? Can't Lightning Bolt that one. Bummer. I actually think I need to force this days. I really want this Caryatid. Well, yeah. Now we're in there. DRC. Yeah, you know me. Okay, Brainstorm. Save me here. This is not good. I'll put back the 2 Stacies. Let's make it extra weird with Exploration. Yeah, I actually just need a Adventurer or one of my 8 Rangers. A 12 outer to lock the game. A Bend Force of Will. No respect. Stasis in my hand, Stasis on top of my deck. Let's get a look. There's a Ranger. Yeah, let's fucking go. This is what we're here for. Scrib Ranger. Float blue. Untap this. Bounce my Trop. And I'll jam Stasis through days here. They did ban a Force of Will, which means they might have one already. Days. Okay. We in? We're in there. Okay. Let's party. They do get the Volcanic Island untapped, which means they could Lightning Bolt Scrib Ranger on the way out. Certainly prefer that didn't happen. I'm not going to block with my Caryatid because they're 1 card away from Delirium, and if they trick me with a Surveil, it's not interested. And step bounce. I would like to pay to keep Stasis. And my first land drop of the turn means I can ponder and I get another land drop. Rather, I put Brainstorm in my hand and tap this. My Tropical Island. Exploration going off here. And I get to attack for 1. Let's go. We're doing the thing. No bolt, no bolt, no bolt. Holy heat shit. They get to Surveil. How do I want to do this? I know some of my top cards. Spell Pierce does it. I know my 2 top cards aren't helpful. Okay, this happens. I'm bummed about it, but whatever. I'm going to pay with the Caryatid. Rainstorm. Forsaken City, you don't say. That locks them out until I feel like it, or until they draw Wasteland. I'll put back White Plume, and I'll play the Forsaken City. I'm probably going to let Stasis die this turn, and just save the second one for the reload. Unfortunately, they get the first turn without Stasis in play. Draw White Plume, and then pass the turn. Trying to set up a system here where I can White Plume Stasis and set up the lock again. EI, you got it. Been to DRC on Volcanic Island. They already played a land this turn. Has to attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They need Force or Pyroblast to stop me from putting the hooks in this turn. I'm drawing Savannah. They might Adventurer. We're in there. They get to search for a forest. And I still have a land drop this turn. And Stasis. Are we in? Did we do it? Oh, they did have Force of Will. Okay. Jing Murktide, so we're going to bash the initiative back and forth. It's not really how I wanted to play this game, but it's where we are. Or they could Lightning Bolt, and then we're not exchanging anything. I'm just in trouble. Fair enough. I made a good run at that. You get to search for a basic. It's a cool trick. Brainstorming in response to the trigger. Build your own shuffle. And they did have a basic to search for. Wasteland, okay. Yeah, I don't care about that at all. Ooh. I said that like that was even good. It's not. Spoiler. This doesn't have flash or anything. Put Derevi onto the battlefield from the command zone. That doesn't help in normal Magic. Alright. Derevi it is. Here's my guy. Untap Sylvan Caryatid. They get to Forge or Lost Well this turn, but regardless, I'm just wrecked at this point. Theft. Alright, we're good. We don't need to keep doing this. I had 2 shots at the combo, and they fought them off. Swords to Plowshares, for sure. I could bring in my Endurances and just have a total fair plan on top of the Stasis thing. Exploration was actually really good that game. It's a fun card to have in the deck. Rest in Peace stops a lot of what they're doing as well. If I'm bringing in 9 cards, what does that look like? I could get rid of Teferi, Derevi, and my Force of Wills. What else would go? If I'm just transforming here, 2 Quirion Rangers, or Ranger and Exploration. And this is kind of fun, just like Bant Stompy, Anti-Delver Bant Stompy. Sign me up for that. I'll keep this hand. It's doing what the sideboard game was set up to do. I'm going to get Tropical Island and play Quirion Ranger. Ranger protects my land from Wasteland. DRC, okay. Bobble. Milled over a Force of Will. Bobbled me immediately. Saw that I drew White Plume Adventurer. Good note. I'm going to offer the trade with DRC. Basically just offer to trade with anything. Any point. I'm holding up Spell Pierce or Scrib Ranger here. So I'm going to fetch in response. And get Savannah. And let's see if we can get a blowout here. Or if they have a counterspell. Untap my Quirion Ranger, pick up the Trop. No Wasteland for you. Wait, did I even need to do that? I could have just used the Quirion in play. What am I even doing? Got fancy for no reason. I don't know why I thought that wouldn't work. Even worse, it was on board. Embarrassing stuff. Words to Plowshares with Spell Pierce protection. And let's get to work. Getting rid of DRC is really important because the rest of their threats are blue. And Scrib Ranger can just hang out. Really don't like this Forsaken City being in my hand right now. Delver, okay. Scrib Ranger can brick that one. I'm just going to pass here. They've seen the White Plume Adventurer. They haven't seen the Endurance. I hope Endurance can answer this DRC. Hardcast Days, okay. You got it. DRC gets to connect. I'm not going to untap Forsaken City. Oh, there's Stasis. That is not quite what I'm looking for here. I'm going to attack with Scrib Ranger. Pro blue, get my point across. Green, untap Scrib Ranger. I'm going to play an Endurance right now. We're in there. DRC back to sleep. And work my way towards something here. Delver didn't flip. And they fetched to get rid of the card. Another Delver. Still not untapping Forsaken City. Ranger, get in there. And float. Green. Untap. They've known about this Adventurer for a while. Let's put it on the stack. Yeah, they couldn't answer the Endurance, so I thought this was pretty safe. Now I have a real land. A real third land. I can stop Forsaken Citying. Or stop worrying about it. Lightning Bolt my White Plume Adventurer. Okay. That does not seem like the most important creature in play. But you're the boss. And they milled over an Unholy Heat? Wild. I would be removing the Scrib Ranger with everything I got. This land, okay. Take out the Forsaken City. Yep. Didn't want it anyway. Feel. Okay, Lost Well. Yeah, I do want to go into the Lost Well. Forces of Plowshares, Brainstorm. These are both good cards. I only have one blue source in play, so I can't do the trick here. I think I just want to pass the turn and use my removal, counterspells, and creatures to just keep the initiative and hang out for a while. Delver's still refusing to flip. You love to see it. Bobble. That does not get them Delirium. They're still one short. I saw the Brainstorm on top of my deck. Might actually goad here. Though having mana versus Delver is so good. But goading DRC into the Endurance feels nice. I'm actually going to goad. Hell yeah. DRC has to attack next turn. I get to ponder for free because I can pick up this land and replay it. Aeroblast, deal. They just put a Force of Will in the graveyard that would have flipped the Delvers. Got my land. Play it. And pass the turn. DRC had to attack anyway. That's funny. I just goaded a creature for no reason. Bolting my Scribbies. That's unfortunate, but it's going to work. And they just put Daze in the graveyard. Okay. I guess I have to keep. I'll see if they draw a spell here with the Delver, and I can react accordingly. EI, Jesus. And I'm going to plow the little Delver before it becomes a big Delver. I am going to lose the initiative here, but I'll be able to get it back. What I don't want is for them to cast Murktide Regent this turn. So I am going to Spell Pierce this. Yeah, they can just pay, and then if they hit land 1-drop, they can just make a spell anyway. Just hope they don't, I guess. Daze is in exile. Creatures have to attack. I'm actually going to take this opportunity to kill the Delver, because DRC has to attack anyway. Your basic's already in play. I don't think you have two. That's correct. Yeah, draw for turn. It's good with Brainstorm. I'm going to attack with Quirion Ranger and just retake the initiative, and I get to draw a card. I can go into the archive. I'd rather do that here. Archive, White Plume Adventurer. I go straight into the throne. Well, yeah. Let's do that with Spell Pierce backup. Straight into the throne, Quirion Ranger and Sylvan Caryatid. LOL. Okay. Or Caryatid, I guess. And we'll pass the turn. Tap all my creatures. I have the combo here, but I am worried about Murktide Regent or Unholy Heat. They kept their card on top with DRC. This can be Mystic Sanctuary if they want it to be. Mystic Sanctuary, are they getting back EI or Unholy Heat? It's EI. All right, so they're grinding. They don't have the clean kill right now. Murktide Regent, they did not knock Delirium off the DRC, so I get to eat that for free right now. Block. And I get to set up Stasis right now with EI on top of their deck. My deck for Forest. I have a fetch in play already, so I don't need to get fancy here with the Brainstorm. Okay. Brainstorm. 2 Scrib Rangers. Easy game. Put back the Forest and the Verdant Catacombs. And then a Stasis. A Scribbies. And I'm going to untap Sylvan Caryatid, bouncing, drop, make my land drop for the turn. My Scribbies. Should do it, kids. EI is the top of their deck. I can Spell Pierce it. And then they're not doing anything. Spell Pierce. Oh yeah. Fuck you, Delver. I did like that configuration. I think we're going to go in the same way again. Just scrappy, mostly Selesnya mid-range with cantrips. Bummer. No lander to start game 3. I'm gonna mulligan this. That's more like it. Keep this and send probably the White Plume Adventurer to the bottom. Something I want to find when I'm more set up. I really don't want to lose the initiative against a quick Delver start. Bobble. Bubbling yourself with Scalding Tarn. Didn't like it. Oh, creature. I take those. I drew White Plume anyway. That was the correct one to send to the bottom, obviously. I don't really want to fetch here because I don't want to turn on Wasteland. I'm not going to Spell Pierce that either. DRC. Sure, okay. I'm not going to let Days get this plow through Savannah straight up. Swords to Plowshares. I have Spell Pierce back up. Want to get frisky. And now that I got lands anyway, it's time to ponder. I was just going to say I'd like to find the next plow in time for Murktide, and we got it. Next turn, I can go Noble Hierarch, Swords to Plowshares with Spell Pierce back up, setting up for a White Plume the turn after. There's the Merc Mommy. And for turn, Swords to Plowshares. It would need Force and Daze. Daze were in there. And Noble Hierarch, get after it. That's not where I'm going to point my Spell Pierce. I will point it here. Spell Pierce this EI when you're running on fumes. This turns on Daze and Pyroblast, but it's cool. The Daze would have got my Endurance next turn. But they found Wasteland. That's a bummer. Alright, land off the top. Fetch land, let's go. Fetch land. Not quite. I'm going to main phase this Scribby and untap it with a land and make my land drop. This lets me main phase Endurance next turn. Might be too late. Okay, EI's cool. I mean, it sucks, but it's also cool. It's not Murktide, is what I'm saying. Bobbled me. Played the Volk we knew about. Draw for Bobble. I draw for turn. Gonna attack for 1. And float green. Tap. And jam Endurance. Spending a Force of Will on that deal. Cool. Pitching Brazen Borrower. 4th Volcanic Island's in play. Counterbalance, that's annoying. And is it Murktide? It is Murktide. Okay, come on, White Source. Fetch land, let's go right now. It's the time. Second Scribby. I'm going to attack for 1. I can't block it. Green, untap this. Play another one. Don't show me a 2. Lightning Bolt on top. Alright, Scribby's just in time. Second one. No attacks, you love to see it. White Source, fetch land. Fair. Oh, not getting better. Ponder. Land on top, let's go. Okay, cool, cool, cool. I like all these cards. Do not shuffle my library. And I'm not going to attack. Oh, that didn't make any sense. What am I even doing here? Yeah, I don't know what I just did. I'm going to pass the turn. I think I thought I had another land drop or another mana somewhere that I just don't have. Lightning Bolt, that happens. They're drawing Scalding Tarn this turn. Scalding Tarn can get Mystic Sanctuary, which clears the Scrib Ranger. Then we're getting bashed. Do I want Brainstorm on the top of my deck in that world? I don't think so. I'm going to get my other White Source out of the deck here. A Mystic for EI, okay. That's not what I thought you were going to do. Deal. That lets me resolve my Adventurer, unless they have Force of Will in hand. That would be annoying. Still going. Damn. I know Counterbalance doesn't do it, but were you holding Force this whole time? Nope. Of a Forest. And... Alright, Scribbies, hold the fort. They did not recur the Lightning Bolt. I guess I had an attack there. Exiled Ponder. There's Ponder. Just miss on red removal for like 1 turn and we'll be cool. He chose to shuffle. There's Delver. Another blue creature. For those keeping score at home. Lost Well or Forge. This one's actually close. It's the Lost Well. It's always the Lost Well. Yeah. Don't want any of this. Bottom both of these. I want Endurances and things that cause problems for my opponent. No Brainstorm. This has the function of testing Counterbalance for Scribby. Force of Will on top. Alright, now's the time to unload. I don't need Exploration anymore this game. So, with multiple Scribs, that is pretty cool. I'm going to put back Forest and... Yeah, I think this Spell Pierce kind of sucks. But they're about to draw Force, which I can Spell Pierce. Alright, I'm going to get rid of the Pierce. And in my Misty, in my Exploration, fetch for a tropical island, get a free attack here. I can main, untap Scrib, with Savannah, then deploy Scrib right now when I know it's good. And I might as well brainstorm while I know it's good too. See what's going on here. Endurance, Stasis, Caryatid. That is actually block. I'll leave Stasis in my hand and pass the turn. We're going to flip Revealing Force. They have Force in hand. I have 2 blue creatures. Or 2 things for their 2 blue creatures. I can goad the Delver. I'm just going to stash. I'm not going to get cute here. And then attack for 2. They don't have Dress Down. Cool. And I'm going to untap these just in case they have Lightning Bolt or something that could untap or cause the White Plume not to untap them. I'm just going to pass here. And I'm going to try to get them to force this Endurance. And then I can untap and jam Stasis. ERC, okay. Now they actually can't force unless they pitch for it. Here's Endurance in the end step. Ponder on top of the deck. This counterbalance has not done anything. A forced pitching force. That did what I wanted it to do. And they did mill the Ponder. Alright. My clock's getting low, but it shouldn't matter for long. I'm going to test with Caryatid. On the counterbalance here. It's not a 2. I can't actually attack this turn. Because they have a red creature right now. Unless they have a Pyroblast. I think we got the hooks in here. Okay, go. They can take the initiative this turn. Because DRC has to attack. They might as well throw the other creatures in front of the Scribs. I'll block the blue creatures. I'll take my 3. These things are never untapping again. You get to search for a basic, but I don't think it's going to matter as long as I don't time out. I think we're in good shape here. And win this game without casting another spell. Under, yep. Not shuffle. ERC, that can block, but not my menace creature. Okay. A for counterbalance with Caryatid. And I'm going to attack with 2 creatures just in case they have a lightning bolt. I want to make sure I go into the throne. Okay. We're in the Throne of the Dead 3, and I've completed a dungeon, so my creatures all untap every turn. How about White Plume Adventurer? We go back into the box. Forest. I can main play this forest and tap something to use my other land drop. And then pass the turn and untap everybody. This certainly looks like we're 3-0 and about to beat Delver, unless they have Pyroblast they've been sandbagging. They can untap and swing with everything. I'm still in pretty good shape against that. And they didn't have that. So we really are just chilling. Price of Progress doesn't beat me. I will put a Script Ranger in front of BRC just to remove any doubt here. And I believe my opponent's dead right now. Lightning Bolt target me. Okay, that doesn't matter. I can beat Price of Progress with my Ranger, just picking up lands. Okay. You die to your own Price of Progress, and I don't die to Price of Progress, so... Good times. All right, we are undefeated, defeating... Is it Delver among the bodies with Initiative Stasis? We broke it, team. We really did.
We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league.
I'm on the draw with a hand that's actually really close. I'm going to keep this. On the play, I'd snap it off, so on the draw, I'll give my deck the benefit of the doubt. But a mana creature and a forest plus a ranger effect is zillions of mana. This looks like a one-lander, but it's actually just gassed up. Forest and a zenith. All right. Are you elves? Are you maverick? What are we doing? Whoever you are, I hope you're dead to stasis. Exploration insults me, but That's actually pretty good. I'll find a use for it eventually. I kind of hope this is elves because we're honestly really close to getting the lock in if they don't mess me up here. It doesn't look like elves. Just cast Knight of the Reliquary and die, please. Looks like they're trying to cast a Zenith and then change their mind. Knight of the Reliquary, okay. I draw a land. Do I win? Come on, land off the top. Okay, I drew a land. What does that do? I can play the land at Tropical Island. And if I play Scrib Ranger, that's 2. Then Exploration, I have none in the pool. Untap Noble Hierarch, second land, cast Stasis. Let's go. If I counted that correctly. Green, Exploration, untap Noble Hierarch, and Stasis. Splat. What do you think of them apples? Okay, here we are. Knight of the Reliquary gets an activation that can represent mana. If they kill my Noble Hierarch, I'm actually in some trouble here, but I can just reset the combo. I have the whole second wave in my hand. Just hope they have no Swords to Plowshares anywhere. Red mana. We're getting Punishing Fired. Sylvan Library, okay. That does not do what you needed it to. And now the Knight is locked down. In the end step, untap Hierarch, bouncing Trop, upkeep, A using Hierarch. And now I get to White Plume. First land drop, float, untap. Second land drop, White Plume Adventurer, LFG. Opponent applauding me in the chat. Yeah, I agree. This rules. Grab a forest and back for 2. And I'm holding up Spell Pierce now, even if they do find Swords to Plowshares, because I get to untap Hierarch. Old Fun of Exploration. I mean, there's 2, but it's not really a plan. It's just a thing that if it comes together is nice. Yeah. Oh my god. Sign me up. Okay, this is a Naya Depths looking deck. I believe Swords to Plowshares is something I want here. I do kind of like Spell Pierce for those thin moments where you just need to not get plowed. Ranger is worse here than it is in any other matchup because they don't have anything blue that I care about. It's still part of the combo, so I don't want to get too thin on it, but it is worse than Quirion Ranger, basically, across the board. It's just a 2-mana version of the same thing. And I think I want all my counter magic because I'm a combo deck. Normally in these matchups, if I'm the control role, I try to board out some number of forces because I don't want to get 2-for-1 over a long game. But I'm not here for a long game. I think I'm going to drop another Scribby. And is it one of the explorations now that so many Scribs are out of the deck? I think that's reasonable. All right, I'm going to try this. No blue mana with lots of blue cards, but I do have White Plume Adventurer. I'm going to mulligan this. It's just too risky. This one's even worse. Playing Dryad Arbor Go as your only land against the deck with Swords of Plowshares, Wasteland, and maybe also Punishing Fire is not a play that you can make on 6 cards. Go to 5, go to 4. Fucking go to 3 before you do this shit. I don't like this either, but I'm done mulliganing. Alright, Big Teferi, what's up? Teferi plus Stasis is a lock. If we can get it all together. Not having the Root Maze is actually pretty rough in this matchup specifically, because if I set up Teferi plus Stasis, and my opponent just goes Wasteland, hit your untapped land on their own turn, and I'm out of the lock. Hope the Spell Pierce gets a juicy Green Sun Zenith or Sylvan Library or something. Checking the end step. Interesting. Alright, that's a reason to do that. Wasteland, there's that. That is a concern I have. And they've played around Spell Pierce here. I could force this. They have only 3 cards left. Yeah, I don't want to play against this card. I'm going to force pitching Spell Pierce. In for 2. Trying the initiative idiot would be pretty good here. Alright, well, we're going to give Wasteland a target. There's no basic island. Make it happen. Yep, just wasting me immediately. That's fine. Swords to Plowshares, Scrib Ranger. I'll take Swords to Plowshares here. And I'm gonna take out the Noble Hierarch. Just hope we're both in idiot mode. It just wasteland me again, and then I'm not really playing the game. I'm all to 5. What are you gonna do? Well, I have 1 turn to draw Plow for this thing, and then we're in waste lock. Okay, I'm dead. Yeah, literally can't win the game from here. All right, good one. Now I get to be on the play again, and I'll try not to go to 5. Do I want Rest in Peace? That makes Knight smaller. It shuts off Ramnap block. And Endurance also does a similar thing. I think I'd rather just use my Spell Pierce, Force, and Removal to keep Ramnap out of play and do some dramatic sideboard plan. Yeah, same deck. Let's go. Keep this one. I'm going to lead on Ranger. That's my Wasteland protection. Opponent went to 6. Windswept Heath, okay. Hope they Swords to Plowshares. I'd love to get through that. Cool. I have the backup. I can Ponder, play the second one, and then we're rocking out. Oh, that might be better. Yeah, I'm going to fetch Savannah and play Hierarch and Ranger. This gives me millions of mana next turn. And protection from Wasteland still. Land go. Ponder. Let's get something going. I'd like to find the White Plume, and I did immediately. WPA. I'm a little worried about Choke. Guess I'll respect that a little bit. I have 2 Hierarchs in the mix here. I am now in it. Grab a Forest. Do I want to play the other Hierarch? Do I want to play Ponder? I think I want to play the other Hierarch. Pick up Savannah, untap, and drop the second one. Then bash for 3. Bring the beats. They didn't fetch Dryad Arbor in the end step. They didn't flash in their own Scrib Ranger. Those were just cards I was thinking about. Don't care about Wasteland. They have multiple Hierarchs and Ranger going. They have some sort of sweeper or their own initiative creature. Not that worried about Knight of the Reliquary. Right, that's cool. Holding up red, they might have Pyroblast. Do I want to go into the Lost Well? That's what I've been doing so far, but kind of want to just kill this opponent. I'm just going to pile up on White Plume. Let's get damage on the board. Ponder. I found Force of Will. Okay, now I have Force backup for everything I want to do here. Can even hardcast it. In for 7. Opponent's at 8. This Sylvan Library is not going to dig too deep this game. Tap my Hierarch. Now I can hardcast Force. Library's doing some digging. Double Wasteland. I'll Force of Will almost anything they do with their mana here, because they're just dead on board if they can't block. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'll hardcast Force of Will for that while they're tapped out at red. And just like that, we're 4-0. We got a trophy match coming.
For the absolute best Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, check out the link in the video description to coalesceapparel.shop, and be sure to use the code BoshNRoll for 10% off when you check out.
On the draw for our final round trophy match, got a mulligan this no-lander. I don't like this. Do I like going to 5 more? Yeah, probably. This hand just isn't doing anything. If I had a blue card to pair with the Force, I'd go for it, but not like this. A 5. Yeah, this hand does stuff. I put Forsaken City and one of the Scribbies on the bottom. What are we up against here? Undra Strategy. Either Vial. Okay. So Esper Vial or Cephalid Breakfast. I get a basic Forest in case they're a Wasteland strategy. Noble Hierarch. Save me. We're passing the turn. If they are Cephalid Breakfast, at least we're not dead right now. Another Scribby. Ponder. White Plume Adventurer, Noble Hierarch, Bant Ranger. I'm missing a land drop anyway, so if I put Noble Hierarch in my hand right now, Scribby, getting brainstormed in response, and Daze. Okay, sure. That makes me think this is not Esper Vial, and that this is probably Cephalid Breakfast. Hope we're not dead right now. They also have Swords of Plowshares. We will be pretty far behind. Basic island. And oh, we might be dead, team. Shuko. Alright, that's 2 A's without a B yet. Nomad's Encore beatdown I'm okay with. It's the best way to sequence my mana here. If I go Scrib Ranger, I can go 1, untap 2, 3. Yeah, Ranger is the way to start this. Ranger, green, untap, White Plume Adventurer, get in, throw up a forest, and pass the turn, hope we're not dead. Okay, we're not dead yet. Untap Noble Hierarch. No attacks, good news. Go to my turn, and I think I still want to be in the Lost Well. Trying a combo here. Bottom 2 lands. And I drew a Quirion Ranger. Let's see what we can do with all this. White, blue, 1, 2. Fairy. Force of Will. Good call. Force pitching Narcomoeba. Yeah, that's a good idea. Attack with Scrib Ranger. Or wait, no. This is a much bigger creature. Attack with my 4/4. Oh, I should have untapped, played Noble Hierarch, and attacked for 5. Would have been better. They have something out of the Aether Vial. Grand Abolisher. Oh, if they double block and redirect all the damage from Nomads to Grand Abolisher. Yeah. Basically trading Grand Abolisher for Nomads. Or for White Plume Adventurer. Alright, well, I mean, my opponent's Hellbent. Yeah, if I had played my Noble Hierarch, this would have not been a play they had. Nomad survives. I'm going to untap Noble Hierarch and play another one. And pass the turn. Hope we're not dead. Just don't draw an Illusionist. So they, oh, God damn it. They ticked Vial up to 3 and then just drew Illusionist. The fuck out of here. Alright, I guess I'll take a look at their deck and then figure out how I'm going to sideboard. What a tilt. I mean, I can untap Illusionist with Scrib Ranger. I don't think forcing a mill really matters unless they try to draw a card, which they're not really going to do because they're Hellbent. There's a Narcomoeba. They can Cabal Therapy me, see a Quirion Ranger. That's fine. Go ahead, take a look. Named Force of Will. Yep, not a card in my hand. They have Sagas, Narcomoebas, Stoneforge Mystics. There's a Cauldron here. Pop this out where you can see it better. They got Teferi Time Ravelers. Days. There's Thassa's Oracle. They have Dread Return. And there are not 4 Narcomoebas, so the one they pitched earlier actually did matter. Okay, you got me. Disappointing, but that's how combo decks work. They even took the Vial up to 3. They had given up, and then whatever. Okay. Rest in Peace, Surgical, Endurance, Towards the Plowshares all coming in. Cards that are worse include, don't really like Scribbies. Exploration is worse because I'm cutting so many of these. I do like Spell Pierce. Dryad Arbor has basically not come up at any point in this entire league. I don't think I like the Teferi. Love Noble Hierarch, like Quirion Ranger. I'm going to cut another Exploration, and I think Derevi can go. Though Derevi's a really good hit off the Throne of the Dead 3. Also a blue card. Take the Fairies out, and I gotta cut one more if I want all these cards. I don't think I want to cut a Stasis. Yeah, that's how I win. And I think it is Derevi when the dust settles here. Oh, Surgical is also in my deck. Bummer. Am I going to make room for Surgical? That might be better than a Force. And do I need Caryatid? Okay, Caryatid's out, Surgical's in. This is a lot for the combo, and I just need to beat the Stoneforge plan fair and square. I'm going to get a Tropical Island and play Quirion Ranger, and then chip it. Saga, okay. It's a good draw. Noble Hierarch, get in. Extra mana, extra damage. I don't think they can go off from this position. Oh, I'm going to get my second Quirion Ranger on the board. Just spew out here. This is where they shrivel. Electrickery. Something. Let's hope it's none of the above. Saga can tutor up Shuko, and they threaten the combo right away. White Plume Adventurer, get after it. Later on days, if they force this, it's a force they don't have for Swords to Plowshares next turn. If they correctly identify that they don't care about this, then their force is going to kill me. And White Plume untaps the Noble Hierarch if it's still in play on their turn. Nope, they plowed it. That's fine. The Rangers can untap Hierarch. If they tutor up Pithing Needle and name Quarian Ranger, then that means they don't have Shuko, and I don't care. I am dead to a Illusionist backed by Force of Will here. They could even Cabal Therapy to check if they have the extra mana, which they do if they have one in their hand. Just hope they name Force of Will. Okay, that's not Cabal Therapy mana. Nomads. Alright, they're doubling up. Wow, that sucks. Yeah, now that beats Swords of Plowshares anyway. Yeah, that was a good hand. Yeah, there's nothing I can do here. Just hope they mess up. The trophy is dead. Stupid Cephalid Breakfast. And I can't, there's no way for me to draw a card. I don't have the Endurance, don't have the Force of Will, or don't have the Surgical. With therapying me, the Surgical, or untap Hierarch. Response, I'll untap Hierarch and plow the Cephalid. I guess if there's a Narcomoeba in their hand, this might be enough. Yep, they're going off in response. Yeah, I'm just F6'd from here. I tried. But I hope the last Narcomoeba's in their hand. They're certainly not acting like it is. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Yeah, another plow would even do it here. We could do a force count and figure out if there's a force in their hand, but it doesn't actually matter. They got me. Oof. Boarded in 10 cards wasn't enough. GG's though. 4-1 with a shot at a trophy with White Plume Adventurer, Quarian Ranger Stasis. That's not where I thought we would be, but wow, does this card overlap in every way that we want with the card Stasis. It's a great just plan on its own if your opponent's farting around, and if you get the hooks in, it wins the game on its own, untapping the Noble Hierarch and the initiative, eventually killing your opponent. I threw this list together in probably 5 minutes, and putting more thought into it or tuning it up, there might be something real here. I don't even think we need Forsaken City with all the enablers we have with the Rangers and the White Plume Adventurer. This card showed up once in the league and it was bad. We could add stability somewhere there. Riot Arbor never really came up either. We could have just more stable mana here, and yeah, wow. Adding a Birds of Paradise as a 5th Hierarch might be good, because getting to 3 mana to turbo out White Plume is pretty sweet. And then that wins under the Stasis with more reliability. Yeah, I'm going to take it easy on my failing voice here and not rebuild this whole deck live on camera, but there might be something here. Stasis has been sort of a joke in the background for a long time, but the power of this card is undeniable. If somebody is functioning under it and someone else isn't, the game will end very quickly. And we did demonstrate that, and it dovetails beautifully into something that the format wants to be doing anyway. Yeah, this is pretty cool. Let me know in the comments or on Twitter or in my Discord, whatever, if you work on this deck. I'm very interested in it. Joyami, thank you for the inspiration to try this. We're onto something here. Everyone else, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the Patreon and all the stuff that supports the channel in the video description, and I'll see you next time.